What is up, good people? We having fun yet out there? Look at this market, sea of red. You know, we're gonna go over some of the things going on out there. Everyone's asking why. Why was there this big sell-off? This is kind of what crypto does, right? Sometimes we're in a bullish time and prices just fly, and other times, well, you get this. In general, this is the way I would look at it. Right now, are we in a period of expansion, explosive growth, just a great economic time? Well, no. We have still restrictive policy by the Fed that's going to squeeze everyone. We have high debt load for both companies and individual households, consumer debt. And again, I don't think we're in this area of expansion and booming economy that should be good for a period of growth. So I think this is kind of to be expected. I've been saying that I think it's going to be a pretty rough second half of this year. A lot of the exciting drivers of value, specifically within crypto, are probably going to be hitting in 2024, 2025. Things like possible regulatory clarity, Bitcoin ETFs, and a whole lot more. So we have stuff to be excited on the horizon. This is kind of just normal and par for the course. Again, I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know if this continues, to be honest. There's some stuff that looked pretty good. I did some light buying today, but I'm not going wild yet. The lower it goes, if it does continue to go down, though, I will get more aggressive. So we're going to get into some of the stuff out there, reasonings, logic, why this might have happened today. But in general, just know this is kind of the way the game plays, and you look for down times to acquire. And so we'll keep watching this as we continue through the rest of this year. A lot of people were irritated. Why did the judge grant the SEC their request to file motion for appeal? This is what I would tell you. Think if it was Ripple. We would want them to be able to put their legal reasoning forward why they should be able to jump straight to appeal. Like, they can appeal either way eventually. The question is, can they speed up the process? Can they do it now? So the SEC, they should be given that ability to put their legal argument forward. Now, do I think they will be successful? Absolutely not. I don't think they should be able to skip ahead of the curve here and jump straight to appeals. They've been trying to drag this process out as long as they could, and now it's zapped them, and they want to, speed things up here a little bit. Shouldn't work like that unless they have some legal reasoning for doing so, which I don't think they have. So either way, they get it, they don't. I don't care. This is going to be a long process. It will probably take months just for the judge to decide and issue out her ruling. We know how this works, doesn't it? So time is not on the SEC side here, but I think it's absolutely proper for the judge to let them, make their case and give their legal argument. And I think they're just going to get, hey, Gary, denied like they have so many times during this court case. They're going to have to wait, and it's going to take too long for them to be effective. I don't think that this is going to happen and be totally settled before the end of Gary Gensler's tenure there at the SEC. I'd be very surprised if he makes it past this first term here. So we'll see how it plays out. Ethereum, big news. It's been approved for futures-based ETF. Now, we know that's an inferior product for investors because there's a lot of fees, things like this. But that's what we have for Bitcoin. And it looks like we are going to have it for Ethereum as well. It's going to always start with this. Start with Bitcoin, and then it will roll off the alts. Ethereum's the number one alt by a country mile. It's not even close. It always will lead for the altcoin market. But eventually, we're going to have spot ETFs, and it's going to roll off to all sorts of major cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, not just Ethereum. This space is going to rapidly change, and we're going to have a lot of regulated trading, and that's where your big money is going to come flooding in here. So keep your eye on that. We are going to make progress, and you're going to see this massive expansion as they open up this asset class to a whole new class of investors. So exciting times. Ethereum is the first mover within the futures-based ETF. They'll eventually get a spot, and so will a lot of other cryptocurrencies. Why? Why do we have this big sell-off? So we're going to go through this article. They give some potential reasonings. I'll give you, my analysis here, but here's someone saying, what the F happened here? Yeah, it was one of those days, and you're going to get those in crypto. If you've been around for a while, 10% sell-off, is that what we had on the 8% in Bitcoin? That happens, right? It just is par for the course. Big deal. That won't be the last time I can tell you that. There was this rumor that SpaceX that they offloaded their Bitcoin, and I'm not so sure because they had written down the value of their Bitcoin, and that's kind of a weird thing with the way they hold property. When it goes down in value, they got to take a write down. Doesn't mean they sold. And the weird thing is when it goes back up, they don't write that asset back up. It's just some accounting nonsense. But it doesn't mean they sold. Now they may have. They may have exited their position in Bitcoin, trying to bring all their cash on board, getting ready for tough times. It would be sensible. Should this change our long-term trajectory of Bitcoin? Not at all. Should make no difference the way we look at this asset long-term. It would make some sense for SpaceX if they're worried about the current economic conditions to try to bring as much cash as they can on hand to shore up operations and make sure that they can comfortably navigate through tough times. It's just par for the course. Interest rate fears. Look, interest rates still high, at least for the amount of debt that we're holding right now. How much debt that's out there. From a historical standpoint, we look at these interest rates and we're like, oh, those aren't so bad. True, but compared to where we've been for the past decade and compared to how much debt, again, both companies and individuals are holding, and then you look at commercial properties and they got to be refined because you have those balloon payments that are coming due. It's a bad environment. It is one that is supposed to squeeze the economy. Again, that's the whole point of this. Squeeze people, cause layoffs, cause turmoil. And maybe we get another hike, maybe we don't, but the longer they leave it at these elevated levels, it's not going to be great. And so you can expect that. Not anything too wild. Government bond yields, again, are increasing, indicator of low liquidity, whatever. And then some risks for China. There's a lot of problems in China right now. We saw this Evergrande, which gave us problems during the bull run. They were having issues making their payments. It caused a lot of fear. Well, they have filed for bankruptcy protection for their U.S. assets. So obviously they're having further problems than what we saw back then. Things aren't getting better. A lot of rumors coming out of China. Who knows? Who knows how this plays out? I saw that clown there on CNBC. What did I say? Kramer. And he's saying, oh, no big deal. We've seen this before. China has problems. They just fix it. Like, that's kind of magical thinking. Who knows how bad things really are? We're going to find out. But no doubt, an economy the size of China's, if they have an issue like we saw in '08, where the U.S. just went tumbling and connected to real estate as well and all this kind of stuff, when we tumbled, it caused the world to do so as well. Well, same thing can happen with China, right? Like, they can only play their fun and games like us for so long, and eventually, they're going to have problems there. So we'll have to see it play out. There's no guaranteeing what's going on with China. There's no guaranteeing what's happening with any government. None of them are truthful, but no, that's a risk there, and it could affect everything and in a big way. We already covered the SpaceX thing, but again, reportedly, they sold their holdings. Like, not a big deal. Could cause panic, could cause people to, sell and cause a lot of liquidations and a lot of problems. But again, I don't think this should be anything we really account for more than go, well, today's going to be a bad day because of that news. Much more beyond that, it's nigh meaningless. Lastly, we have this news out here about MasterCard, and they have this new program that they are partnering with blockchain companies to promote CBDC innovation. It seems kind of weird. Like, why are they working with Ripple and Consensus? We think there's this rivalry there, and I guess there is one of sorts. But the thing to remember is this. If you want to, build a blockchain system, you want to talk to the players that know how to do this, it's a short list, right? There's only so many really big players out there. Ripple's one of them, and you best believe Consensus is one of the biggest out there. And there's other people within blockchain. It's 7 various players that are partnering here with MasterCard. But both of these companies are going to be a force in the future of payments. Doesn't matter if you think, XRP is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or Ethereum is king of all crypto. These are big players, and they're going to continue to do so. That's why you see a lot of the blockchains they leverage staying at the top. These are big drivers of value. They're going to be big players going forward. And business ain't going to play these games. They are going to partner with major blockchain companies that can get the job done, that know what they're doing. And of course, Ripple and Consensus are both exactly that. They are going to be very important companies going forward, and they're going to build much of the infrastructure along with others out there, whether it's people from, Cardano or Polkadot or other major systems out there. Let me know what you think down below. Is this sell-off going to continue? Are we going to have more problems, or is the worst by us and it's on to some sort of growth phase and expansion phase and higher prices? Lastly, I'll tell you this. Never forget, prices during a bull run, they don't go just straight to the moon. Also, when you have these kind of issues where prices are going down, they don't just go straight down into the dirt here. You can have great recoveries and you think, wow, we're buy everything. And then, you wake up on a day like today and it's just red everywhere. This can be a long process. It's not that important for me. I hold my core holdings. When I get good chances to acquire value, I do so. And we'll watch it progress. I don't need to be Nostradamus. We've been through this before. It takes time to work through these time periods during the cycle, but there are going to be great growth times in the future. And, these are the kind of times we want. Good buying opportunities, low prices, and if Bitcoin keeps going down, man, it's just going to squeeze the altcoin market down even further. And I think that's where you're going to get the big bang for your buck this time around. Let me know what you think. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.